Hey, I'm Daniel Rondberg, and I want to welcome you to this video. In this video, I'm going to talk all about what's happening with real estate right now and a specific tool that retirees are neglecting that I think provides massive value for cash flow in your retirement and possible protection as you stay in the home that you love for the remainder of your years in retirement. Now, let's talk about the real estate market overall. What's interesting about the real estate market in the United States is each state is really different. The Sun Belt, where I live in Phoenix, Arizona, is impacted very heavily by what's happening. Real estate investors have come in, they've purchased approximately 40% of the homes for the last 10 years. They've driven up prices, they've driven up rents to insane levels in a short amount of time. We've really had this massive real estate bubble. Plus you have construction happening all over where I live in what we call the Valley. I live in a suburb of Phoenix, and there is apartment complexes, there are homes going up everywhere. In fact, Phoenix leads the nation in new construction. It's all supposed to be coming due sometime starting in November of 2022, so this fall. And you're having a really hard time right now in the Phoenix market if you're trying to sell a home. Because I have clients right now that are trying to list their homes, they're sitting, they're not getting any interest, there's home for sale signs all over the place. It's very reminiscent of what we felt like in 2007, in the early part of 2008, when we started to notice things were not going well before the full-on cliff. And so each state is different though. Some states are appreciating in value in their real estate markets. There's states in the Midwest and there's states in the Northeast that are having a very, very strong and increasing real estate market where values are appreciating and they're having very steady, consistent markets. In Arizona, in southern parts of California, in Utah, in Idaho, in Texas, in Tampa, Florida, and other parts of Florida, you're having real struggles, and you're starting to see that there's a bubble and that the market's starting to soften. So let's talk about what's happening if you live in one of those areas and your real estate market's starting to soften, you're starting to see things come down. What do you do if you're in retirement? There's a couple things you can do, and there's a specific tool that I want to discuss, and I think some of you might know where I'm going with this. Some of you might be kind of scratching your head going, what is he talking about? I want to preface this by saying I'm not a mortgage broker. I don't do mortgages. I have nothing to do with them. But I do have something to do with them when it comes to analyzing cash flow for my clients, because there's really two ways that you can increase income for a retiree. You can increase the amount of income based on distribution from assets, or you can decrease obligations and those liabilities. Either way will impact your cash flow positively, getting a higher amount of income, getting a lower amount of what your outflow is. And one of the ways you can minimize your outflow, or you can create some really cool things to protect yourself in retirement, is through a tool called a HECM, a home equity conversion mortgage. Now, before you stop watching the video and go, oh, reverse mortgages are terrible. A HECM is a type of reverse mortgage that is really a line of credit. And that's really important because it's not irrevocable. You can refinance out of them. But what they're going to do is they're going to come in and they're going to, one, stop your mortgage payment, the principal and interest portion. You'll always pay taxes and insurance. But for some people, if they could stop that principal and interest portion and be protected by that mortgage company, they're going to be able to stay in their home for them and their spouse for the rest of their lives. If they're in their forever home, that's going to present a lot of value in terms of cash flow. That's going to give you more cash flow to work with in retirement. And maybe that's money you're going to save, or maybe that's money you're going to enjoy, or maybe that's money you're going to buy benefits for down the road where you can protect yourself if certain things come up, like long-term care. So from a cash flow standpoint, that's a great way to create some security, is stopping that payment. It's also going to give you a line of credit. And that line of credit is going to appreciate, that line utilization is going to grow every single year. So that's going to give you a portion of that equity to be able to use should you need it. And why is that valuable right now? Well, I don't know about other states that you might be watching this from, but in Arizona in 2021, the average home price increased by like 25%. So that doesn't really mean anything unless you plan on selling your home traditionally. But with a HECM, that's going to give you brand new equity as a retiree to be able to potentially secure through this line of credit. Now, in 2008, when the real estate market collapsed, what happened to home equity lines of credit? Banks pulled them, froze them, stopped them, called them due. They didn't work. But HECMs have that protection where you're going to be able to keep the value of that line of credit intact, even if the real estate market goes down, which it looks like it's going down right now. And I'm not a real estate agent, again, that's just my assessment of watching homes. I think like 80% of homes in Phoenix right now have a price decline on them. If you just go on Zillow or Redfin or Realtor.com, you can see price declines. But for people here in Arizona, for people in states where the markets are starting to soften, this tool might be an appropriate way for you to protect the value of your home, stop your mortgage payment, and give you a new buffer asset or a line of credit that you could access should you need additional capital for a few things. One of those things might be long-term care. So if you don't have enough money or you don't have enough benefits to provide money for care, and part of your long-term care plan is to sell your home to be able to raise the money, maybe you could stay comfortable in your home and just use the home equity wisely to be able to provide that care for you while you remain comfortable in your home, so you're not trying to make one of the biggest financial transactions and decisions during one of the most vulnerable times of your life. That's one really great use case for a HECM, to be able to protect seniors and retirees. Another great use case for it is it might be the money that you could use to liberate some of your taxable portfolio. So for example, the HECM is a non-recourse loan, which means that if you take from that line of credit, because it's in the reverse family, you don't have to pay that back. It's just going to be subtracted with the interest assessed from the equity in your home to the people you leave your home to. But if it's not within your alignment to leave your home value to somebody, and you want to make sure that you have the most tools at your disposal to remain independent and not impact them from being a burden on them, let's say your kids, if you run out of money, then being able to maximize that home equity and have it be able to be utilized for you could be very, very important. Should you need long-term care like we discussed, or should you want to take that money out so that you can do Roth conversions. Now again, this isn't tax advice, but let's say you have $500,000 of completely pre-tax, fully taxable IRA money. And let's say you want to take $100,000 a year and convert it to Roth so that you can get rid of the income taxes and you can have all of the money working for you in the IRA and you can have it all come out tax-free. In order to do a Roth conversion on that $100,000 for 5 years, you're going to need to pay the taxes. So what do? Do you take it from the IRA and withhold it and maybe say, okay, I'm going to send 20% to the IRS right now. My $100,000 conversion will be an $80,000 conversion. I'm going to instantly lower my net worth because I decided to pay my taxes and then build back from there. Or do you convert the whole $100,000 and pay your taxes another way? Well, if you have money in the bank, that could be one potential way. If you have a line of credit that you don't have to pay back, maybe you could take the money from there to pay the taxes. That way you have all of your money going into the Roth, which means more tax-free income for you in retirement. That could be one use case for the HECM that could give you a lot of value if you're trying to get the income tax liability off your IRAs, your 401ks, your pre-tax dollars, so you can set up a tax-free income stream distribution from your retirement income accounts. Now let's talk about the third use case for the HECM, okay? The HECM could bridge your income so you could let other retirement income streams defer. Let's say you're deciding when to take your Social Security, and let's say you want to maximize your Social Security, and let's say it makes sense for you to wait until 70. And the difference between taking your Social Security benefit at your full retirement age and 70 is approximately 32% higher income for the rest of your life, and if that's a survivor benefit for your spouse, for the rest of their life. Well, how could you defer that income if you need money to live on now? If you have a non-recourse loan, if you're over age 62, which is the minimum age you can do a HECM, let's say you could start pulling money from that HECM to supplement your income so that your Social Security could grow. Maybe you could pull that money from your HECM so that your annuities could grow and defer and provide more income. Because the longer you give that as a time horizon to build, the higher income you're going to be able to receive. Maybe your pension works the same way. Maybe you get additional credits or multipliers if you wait on your pension. And it's just better to defer those income streams. You could take money as what we call a bridge and be able to have the income you need from the line of credit that you don't have to pay back on the HECM. And that's a dormant asset that you're never going to be able to tap into anyway. Maybe that lets all of your retirement income defer so you can get a higher retirement income and maximize the amount of money you have to live on in your retirement. Another great use case for the HECM. So again, do I think the real estate market's going to crash all over the country? No. Do I know what's going to happen? No. But do I know that it could be a crucial juncture for you to take control and put tools in place to be able to secure your retirement? I think there's always a great time for that. And so if you have more questions on this, if you want me to connect you with other people that really specialize in this, mortgage brokers, again, I don't get anything for working with them. I just want to bring valuable people to this channel to be able to provide insights. I'm happy to bring on mortgage brokers and interview them so you can learn more about these products, and I fully intend to do that. If you like this video and found it interesting, please give me a thumbs up. Think about subscribing if you want more content like this. And please, if you want to share this video with someone you think could benefit from it, I'd love to be able to share this message with them so they could take advantage of these kinds of things and be aware of them so they can put themselves in the best position possible and ultimately realize their purpose in retirement. I'm Daniel Rondberg. Thanks so much for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one.